once again joined by Sage Canaday, who also has a channel, VO2 Max Productions, and he recently started Training Talk Thursdays, so make sure to check that out. So thanks for being here.
Oh, I'm glad to be here. Today we're going to talk about the number one tip that we think is most helpful for improving your running form, reducing your injury risk, and increasing your efficiency. And a lot of people think that the most important thing is where their foot lands, whether they're running on the balls of their foot or midfoot or forefoot, or they're heel striking, and they focus just on the foot strike, or they focus just on their body posture and their forward lean. And those things are really, really important and key elements of running form. But what we found is that there's actually something even more important that ties it all together.
So what we believe is most important is actually your stride rate, or how many steps you're taking per minute. And what research has found is that pretty much like all elite runners from 5K to marathoners are taking between 180 and 200 steps per minute, while a lot of recreational runners or beginner runners are taking closer to 160 steps, or between 160 and 165 steps per minute. And so just increasing your stride rate to 180 plus is really going to help you become more efficient, reduce injury, and we really think that no matter what level of athlete you are, you can benefit from increasing your stride rate. So let's get into the actual benefits of having a higher stride rate. One thing that's really going to help most people is it's going to make you a more efficient runner, because you're going to be spending less time on the ground or in the air. So when you take slower steps, you're most likely going to have some vertical oscillation, which means when you're running, you're not just going forward, you're going up and forward. And so you have increased time in the air, which also means that you have a greater impact force when you land. And that impact force is going to means you're more likely to have an injury or overstride, which means you're taking steps too far forward.
So as Sandy just said, the main benefits of having a faster stride rate are to reduce the impact force. And a lot of people you see, I'm one of them, they're kind of looping around with these long bouncy strides and pushing off really hard, which takes a lot of work, especially if you're a long distance runner. So you want to envision that your feet aren't like pogo sticks bouncing off the ground, but more like rolling, like a wheel rolling across the ground, over the ground. And you're rolling really fast with your legs acting kind of like wheels, rolling over, folding over the ground as fast as possible. And the really fast stride rate is also going to keep you from overstriding. A lot of people, when you're taking a really slow stride rate, like 160 steps per minute or less, it means that you're probably overextending a little bit and you're actually reaching out with your leg. So a real life story example, I was out running the other day with a heart rate monitor on, and I noticed that I also counted my stride rate, and I was going pretty slow, like 166 steps per minute. And so after that, I really focused on trying to speed up my stride rate and get it closer to 180 steps per minute. And what happened in the next couple miles was that I actually started running 5 to 10 seconds a mile faster, and my heart rate actually started drifting down. So it really makes you, it's really more energy efficient to take a faster high cadence stride rate of around 180 steps per minute or more. And it really saves your form in terms of also increasing your arm swing and developing proper arm swing, as well as your whole body's position, and really not focusing on overstriding as much, but keeping your legs under your center of gravity, more under your center of mass, where you're going to be more efficient, kind of pitter-pattering along quickly with less of a push-off, less effort to push off with each stride, because you're taking faster steps.
So I'm sure you're all wondering how you actually find a stride rate, and it's actually pretty simple. All you need is a watch, and then you pick your left or right foot, and for 1 minute you're to count how many times that foot hits the ground. Once you're done with that, you're going to multiply that number by 2. So say you get your right foot hits the ground 84 times, so your stride rate is going to be 168 steps per minute. And so if you're around there, keep watching this video. If you're 180, you can stop. But we're going to go over the ways you can actually start to improve your stride rate. So increasing your stride rate can be relatively simple. For one, you can just go out and use run and start to focus on increasing your stride a little bit more. But I will say, if you're at 162 steps per minute right now, you don't want to jump to 180. That's going to be really hard and it's going to be a struggle. But what you can do is try to get to like 165 and then 170 and try that for a couple weeks and then build up from there. But if you're having trouble just focusing on keeping your stride rate up, there are little tools that can help you. For one, I have a metronome here, and I just got this online. You can just clip it on to your shorts or your pants or whatever, and you can program it to 180 steps per minute or how many ever steps you want. And I will say it gets pretty annoying. After a couple minutes, it just gets stuck in your head and you don't even need it, and even after you're running, it's stuck in your head. But it's a great tool to make sure your feet are landing on the ground with the beats.
Yeah, and you could also listen to music. I think you said there was Jog Tunes.
Yeah, I just found this website, Jog Tunes, and you can actually download music with 180 beats per music, so I'm sure that's less annoying than just using a metronome sometimes.
And so just to give you an idea of what 160 to 180 steps per minute sounds like, I'm bringing out the old keyboard here, and it's set on a drum beat to 160 beats per minute right now. So this is 160, and this is too slow, so you want to get up faster than this. So if you're imagining your feet coming down that fast, that's still too slow. Now we're going to increase it to 180 beats per minute, or steps per minute. So this is 180, and this is what you want to shoot for at least. And that will make your stride more efficient, and everything else in your form will kind of come together with the stride rate. And that's what we truly believe is you're going to land better, you're going to land more under your center of gravity, you're going to be able to have a more efficient upright posture and a better, faster arm swing as well.
As you can see, 180 actually sounds pretty fast. I know I was a little bit intimidated when I heard how fast it sounded, but that's why I said it's something you can build up to. You don't just have to jump to it right away. And if you want to try some other things as well, you can also just focus on moving your arms faster, because if your arms are moving faster, your legs are immediately moving faster. So if you're tired of like trying to focus on your legs and improve your form that way, just start focusing on your arms and moving them faster. Another thing you can do is strides. We love strides because they enforce good form as well as a good stride rate. And for this, it might actually be good to do downhill strides. And just to define strides, for those of you who don't know, it's normally almost an all-out sprint. You slowly kind of build up as you go for about 100 to 200 meters, anywhere in that range. And so downhill strides are actually going to help you or encourage you to increase your stride rate even more than running on flat wood. Although I even say doing strides on flat ground would be great, or even doing short intervals is going to help increase your stride rate. Lastly, for some of you this might help is running barefoot, because if you're running barefoot, especially on a hard surface, you're not going to want to land as hard, and so you're kind of naturally taking lighter and quicker steps. So if you're interested in that, it might be good to do 5 minutes every few days on a hard surface, just running barefoot. We don't say run barefoot all the time, but every now and then, and for some people it can definitely help. So that's another thing you can try.
Yeah, and just a final note, Sandy said about the strides, it's a great way to develop a faster turnover, a faster stride rate and cadence. And obviously if you're sprinting 100 meters all out, hopefully your stride rate's at least over 200 steps per minute. And you see a lot of professional sprinters or mid-distance runners with a faster stride rate that actually exceeds 200 steps per minute. And also just doing traditional speed work like maybe 400 meter repeats or quarter mile repeats to even mile repeats, you could usually get a good tempo, a good turnover going. And the idea is to develop that also on your easy recovery run pace, or also during a marathon or half marathon race to get close to that 180 steps per minute or even higher number, because that is what we've really found makes runners most efficient.
And so that's pretty much it for our talk today, and thank you so much for watching. We really hope this helps you and makes running more enjoyable for you. But thanks, Sage, for being here. We really appreciate it. And run wild, live happy.